Well, summer is just around the corner, and all week we are bringing you the information you need to stay safe in the sun.
So Monday we talked about various forms of skin cancer and what causes them. Today it's all about protection. News 2's Colby Thelen joining us now in studio with what experts say we need to do and even not do.
Yeah, that's right. And with so many brands of sunscreen on the shelf, it can be really hard to know which one is best. After all, there's been a lot of debate about what that magic number is, and if it's really as water resistant as it says. Well, doctors that we spoke to say that while this should always be applied, it's not always enough to fully protect you.
On a sunny day in Charleston in the summertime, you're going to see a lot of people tanned and getting burns on the beach. Unfortunately, not enough people take it seriously enough.
For Dr. Todd Schlesinger, preventing skin cancer is all about exposure to more knowledge and less direct sunlight.
The more exposure you get, the more likely you are to get a skin cancer over time.
But time in the sun is inevitable for most people's summer. So he says there are many ways to mitigate those harmful effects which aren't fully prevented by sunscreen.
You still have ultraviolet rays that are penetrating through sunscreen that you put on because the sunscreen is not completely white.
Not to mention, application instructions aren't always followed.
The studies have shown that people don't apply enough sunscreen to get the proper effect. They do the test with a certain amount of sunscreen application and then people end up applying less.
Or not reapplying at all. That's why he says cover-up clothing is needed for long days outside, and those with lighter skin, limiting time in the sun altogether. But melanoma can also be genetic. That's why the American Academy of Dermatology recommends routine checks.
A year is the minimum. Everyone should come in at least once a year.
In between appointments, it's also important to know your own skin with regular self-checks.
We recommend using a handheld mirror as well as a bathroom mirror, and you can actually look over your body and get familiar with any lesions or moles that are on the body and do what we call a self-skin exam.
But it's a happy medium. Checking too often can also be problematic.
Like say, for example, you look at them every day. You might not notice a change, but if you look at them once a month, you might be able to detect the change in that mole.
And while they don't recommend a hermit's life, they say prudence is the best protection.
And the American Academy of Dermatology recommends a 30, and with broad-based spectrum, which means that it's going to cover UAV, UVB as well. And you know, you've probably heard this as well, that 30 and above, everything's the same, right? I know that I heard that, and that's partially true. Basically, this is going to block out about 97% of those UV rays, whereas a 50 is going to block out about 98%. And that doesn't sound like a lot. There is a little bit of a difference, especially if you're lighter skinned or if you've had a history of skin cancer.
All right, good deal.
All right, thank you, Colby.